Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be done with dieting and live your healthiest life? Absolutely. My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V. Where our goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be wealthy in all areas of their lives. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. You can follow us on Twitter at The Nurse Nurturer, Instagram at VP Nursing, and if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and please share this video. You can also visit us at our website at vpnursing.com. So our special guest today is Miss Denise Dunn. So Ms. Dunn earned her bachelor's degree in food and nutrition at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. She completed her master's degree in food and nutritional services from North Carolina's A&T State University in 2001, and then entered her dietetic internship at Utah State University. Ms. Dunn became a registered licensed dietitian in May of 2003. Ms. Dunn has worked in child nutrition, public health, long-term care, and food service management. Ms. Dunn joined the team at the local hospital in February of 2018, where she works with patients before and after surgery to ensure they receive the educational support they need to commit to a healthy lifestyle. She is the founder and the CEO of Done with Dieting, a nutritional consultation company focused on teaching clients the true purpose of food, how to close the revolving door. Lord, do we know?
Yes.
Temporary diets and how to create a lifelong change. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We've met before. We've done morning infusion before, but this new company is taking off and it is amazing. So I'm super excited about it.
Yes.
I'm super excited. So now tell us, what was your primary reasoning for becoming a registered dietitian?
Food has always been around and so important to me. As a child, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. I was a kid, myself and my cousins always in the garden. My grandmother was always baking. We spent time in the house with her baking. And then after going away to college, I took my first couple nutrition classes and I was like, food still was the thing that I was passionate about and very drawn to. So once I took those first couple classes, I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be my area.
Yeah, and Maslow's hierarchy again, that physiological. And I tell people all the time, because I teach people as it relates to that congestive heart failure, and I tell them all the time, you can't. First of all, you can't out exercise your fork. Number one. Number
Right.
two, your it is very important. It makes you either feel bad or feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that is super, super important. Now, what are some of the challenges that you think that people face as it relates to lifestyle change and exercise?
Two of the big ones that come to mind is definitely time management and finances. When it comes to time management, we're living in a world that even with COVID, we're still very busy. You still got people, I'm going to church, I'm going to work, I have to take the kids this place, I have this appointment, I have that appointment. But unfortunately, we don't really have that mindset of let me carve out this 30 minutes to exercise until you get sick. And then you're in the doctor's office every other week for 2 and 3 hours. So the one thing about taking care of your body is you have to carve out that time, because if not, when something happens, it will demand the time.
That's exactly
So
right.
it would demand, and it's very time consuming. I mean, work, that world. You can go to a doctor's office and be there for hours. When if you were taking that 30 minutes every day to walk, you really could have prevented some of these appointments.
The Jim Rohn, his quote, the pain of discipline weighs ounces, where the pain of regret weighs tons. And that's huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, the most millionaires get up at 4 a.m. right? And like you've had your exercise this morning. We talked before
I
we came
have.
on camera. You've exercised this morning. I've exercised this morning. I made sure that I've done that. Of course, I'm on this 75-day challenge, but it's very, very true that you need to continue on
Mhm.
with that no matter what, no matter how. And it gives you the ability to say, okay, this is good. I'm good with waking up and doing this every single solitary morning. Now, you recently started a business, of course, done with diets, and I'm super excited about
Yes.
that. Now, what was the primary motivation for starting the business?
Well, done with dieting, empowering people one bite at a time. My really primary focus was really teaching people to 100% understand the purpose of food and to help people get off of that constant roller coaster revolving door. We're just living in a time where people want it faster, faster, faster. I like to say, sprinkle something on me, rub something on me, let me drink something, and I'm going to be 60 pounds lighter in an hour.
It don't work like that.
Like, it really does not. And really to sit in the office and counsel patients at different times in my life, and to really meet people that their weight has started to seriously control their life, to the point of you can be the person that needs a joint replacement or need an OBGYN procedure because of your weight, but also because your BMI is so high you can't get the procedure. So you need it because of your weight, but you can't get it because of your weight. That's a bad situation.
It is.
So, and to see that happening more and more and more was really driving me to say, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you that I can really help people kind of simplify this journey. And then meeting patients also, and to hear a 50-year-old woman tell you that she's been on a diet her entire life.
Wow.
At one time or another, I've been on a diet. I've tried everything. Between those two things, I've been on the diet most of my life, and I've tried everything. When you hear that constantly, you're like, wait a minute. Somewhere along the lines, we have missed a major concept that's going to hit change. So
But
that's what really drew me.
I think about when, all the schools because I went to four different schools, and all four different schools, I had one nutrition class, one.
Mm.
But you know what? I had plenty of pharmacology classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, the deal is that, that concept is just not being pushed. It's just not what it is. And so I noticed at 46, when I just started to feel really, really bad. And then all of a sudden, and I tell this story. So I had a major event. We had the summit. And so as a spiritual thing, I completely cut out meats. When I completely cut out meats for that week, when I got to the summit, I was like, wow, I feel good. What's going on? Going on. And so I was like, well, think about what you did for the last week. And so then I thought about what I did for the last week, and I was like, I cut out all my meats. And then, of course, my son is vegan. And so I just said, well, let me cut out my dairy. And although I've added back in dairy and I've added back in fish, but I've just, that's what I'm going to do, because it makes me feel better. I feel better. It creates more of an alkaline body so that you don't have all these disease processes that you would normally have. And of course, increasing exercise so that you can increase your cardiovascular capacity is huge, huge, huge. Now, how did you get the idea? Like, where did you get the idea from in the concept for starting the business? Like, how did that come about? Because you're already a registered dietitian right now.
Yes.
And so what made you want to jump out there and say, well, I'm gonna start this business?
I definitely feel like it was God ordained from beginning to end. It was constantly hearing it, constantly hearing, I have been on the diet this long. I have tried everything. What's the new diet? And then literally meeting people, and they're telling me these things that they have literally, like, I'm going to drink this, or I'm going to rub this. And I'm looking at them like, and they honestly believe it. And
Mm-hmm.
it hurts your heart, because you're like, sweetheart, that sounds like some lovely miracle / fairy dust / something that someone made up, and you really are like, no, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds, and then you see them a month later, and they're like, oh, that didn't work, I'm on to the next thing. and just meeting people constantly on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. But it'll be still, they're standing there with their 32-ounce sweet tea in their hand. And it's like, but you haven't learned anything from one miracle thing to the next. So just people just not knowing. I really think it all boils down to, for me, the purpose of food. And when people get a true understanding of the purpose of food is to nourish your body and to teach them how to make decisions based on that. I really feel like the idea for me was to simplify it, because people just information overload and don't understand any of it.
I was talking to a physician yesterday, and he was talking about his son, and he said that his son always eats chicken nuggets. He only eats chicken nuggets, French fries, I think, and he said broccoli. That's all he eats, period, point blank in the story. And so he went to this restaurant, and the waitress said, we don't have any chicken nuggets. He said, well, I'm not going to eat anything. And so he just didn't eat anything. And I remember my diet being very narrow and being very simple, right? We have such a wide variety of things that we can choose from. And I think that's what's causing, because when it was narrow, I was narrow. Okay. But once I broadened it out, it was like, I broadened out too. So I love that you want to make it simplistic for people, for sure. So now, what are some of the challenges that you face with your first steps in the business?
It was really just taking that leap of faith. Really, really saying, okay, because that God ordained stuff, but you still have to be obedient and do it. You still have to be obedient and do it. We're still human. I'm just like, you can be nudged to do stuff. You can hear from God. You can have the Holy Spirit. And you're like, okay, God, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot. And people aren't that lovely sometimes. And you're like, okay, God, you want me to do what? And I'm just, okay, this is God's ordained plan for me. So it's really taking that leap of faith, just saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I am going to be obedient. I'm going to start this. And it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, the first steps for sure is that, just one foot in front of the other one. And people are like, they look at the staircase. Don't look at the staircase. Just look at that first step. Okay. Yes. Because that first step is not daunting, but that staircase can be daunting. Now, starting your own business is scary. How do you overcome the fear of it?
Daily prayer. Daily prayer. It is daily prayer. And I thank God for my support system. My friends and my family are amazing. I have a wonderful mentor as well. My business coach is phenomenal. Daily prayer. God has blessed me to have a wonderful circle. And it's just, just like everybody says, we're raising kids, their village. I have an amazing village who will cover me in prayer before I do anything like this. Who say, okay, you need me to pray with you. Do you have any prep or anything I can help you with? It really is that saying, okay, I'm doing what the Father says that I need to do. So God help me to make sure that I'm making the decisions and representing you well in this.
And you have been phenomenal through it all. I do have to say that, because you have been you've just been working it out day by day, just doing what you need to do. Now, what is one piece of advice that you would give someone that is just starting out their business?
I would say just like the motto of my business, one bite at a time, steady, consistent. Be steady, be consistent, and don't fall into the world of comparison. As women, we are notorious for that.
Notorious.
It will turn into, oh, I'm a size whatever, and she's smaller, or her business looks like this, or she drives this car, or she's at this point in her career. Keep your eyes focused on being the best version of you. Be consistent. As my business coach says, be intentional and show up for yourself. Show up for yourself now.
That's right.
You have to do your part. Faith without works is dead, because sometimes we so super spiritual, like it's just gonna fall and knock on the door and say, career. It's like you still have to do your work.
That's exactly right. Now, what are some things that you were surprised and that you learned during the first steps in this journey?
I think I was kind of surprised of how well people responded. People were like, oh my God, yes, or I didn't know. And it's sometimes as a registered dietitian, because you have become so accustomed to giving this information all the time, and you are so accustomed to flipping that label over in the grocery store, you'd be surprised how many people never flip the label over in the grocery store, of any container. So just people's response has been so supportive and so positive. So that has been great for me.
Yeah,
That
it
has been
has
one of the
been
things that I was
positive.
like, okay, and
Yeah.
God continues to confirm it for me every step of the way. Every step of the way, I will meet somebody again, and it'll be a general conversation walking down the hall or run into a family member, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm just tired of this dieting." They would
Wow.
literally say the name of the business. So, and I'm like, okay, God, I heard that. So keep going on my journey. Keep being the best version of me. Don't compare myself to what other people are doing, because I'm quite sure people have a different vision, because there are other, businesses out there. But be the best version of me.
Yeah, but I think that I think it's really important to be done with dieting for
Mm-hmm.
sure, for sure.
Absolutely.
So now, if someone wants to be done with dieting, like where can they contact you?
At Denise A. Dunn on Facebook, or they can do Done with Dieting at Gmail. They can email me.
Okay, okay. That is super, super exciting. So thank you for showing up here today. You are
You are
absolutely,
welcome.
you are
Thank you so
absolutely
much for
fabulous.
having me.
So, my name is Dr. Viola Pierce, owner and CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer, and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be wealthy in all areas of their lives. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals, to show up exceptional on a daily basis. You can follow us on Twitter at The Nurse Nurturer, Instagram at VP Nursing. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and please share this video. You can also visit us at our website at vpnursing.com.